here. Well, let's talk to the president of Nigeria Badminton Federation this morning, Francis Orbih. Will be joining us this morning to talk about how, COVID-19 virtually disrupted their plans for the year. We know badminton is one of those federations that were really doing so much concerning grassroots sport development internationally and even locally. But right now with COVID-19, obviously the plans, I don't know what's going to happen to the rest of the year. Good morning. It's good to have you.
Yeah, good morning. I can hear you.
Okay, let's continue from where we stopped. I was asking, what are you really doing to keep yourself busy before we go into the Olympic postponement, and also what your federation is doing, what will be doing after the pandemic is over?
Well, like every other sport, I mean, we are part of the world. This pandemic is affecting everything around us. So, and for us as a federation, we feel very strongly that the welfare, the health, safety, and well-being of the players is more important than having any event or having any championship. I mean, including the Olympics, which has been postponed, like you rightly stated. So I think at this point, all hands must be on deck. Everybody must play his or her own role to make sure that we're able to bring this pandemic, bring it under control, like it's being done all across the world. So like every other federation, we are encouraging our players, our stakeholders, everybody in the badminton family in Nigeria to follow the instructions and whatever they are told to do by the authorities, the health bodies, and all that, so that we can all play our little role in trying to bring this thing under control. And like you said, I mean, after the whole, we strongly believe that this will definitely pass. So what happens after? Like the Olympics that have been rescheduled to next year, July to August. And so it's going to happen, even in badminton, a lot of championships were cancelled or postponed indefinitely. And everybody is going to just keep an eye on what goes on. And as things unfold, then we'll know when it will be safe to begin to reschedule some of those activities. So it's going to be the same thing with what we have had lined up in our calendar for the year in Nigeria. Once the pandemic begins to go down, then we'll begin to look at possible days to reschedule and then have our athletes and players back, to action.
Fantastic. We're hoping that is as soon as possible. Let's talk about the players themselves. Of course, it's been a very, very difficult time for them. They cannot train, they cannot compete. A lot of them are just caught up in this pandemic. How are you in touch with these players, and what are you and how are you helping them in these very difficult moments?
Well, it's been, with the lockdown and everybody being advised to stay at home, it means that you have a very limited opportunity for any form of training, but we've encouraged them to try to keep fit. I mean, you can exercise in your homes, even if you don't go out to the stadium or to the hall to play. For now, like I said, as a federation, the physical well-being and the health of the players is more important. We don't want any of our players, or in fact, any Nigerian for that matter, counted among the figures that are victims or, that the pandemic has taken. So for us, that is most important, and that's what we are going to focus on. We are reaching out to the players through their leaders and, find out how they are doing. And just encouraging them. For us, the most important thing now is going with the simple advice of staying at home, washing your hands regularly, and the social distancing and all that. That is the minimum anybody can do for now. And that is the campaign we're also carrying out, encouraging them and hoping that everything will come to pass very soon.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. Now, let me ask you this question. When the Olympics were postponed, what was your initial reaction to the postponement, knowing that some of your players haven't qualified for the Tokyo Games?
Well, for badminton, qualification was still on. We had till ending of April this month for the qualification window to close. And 3 of our players were on the verge. One of them was as good as, qualified, while the other 2 still needed to play a few championships, which we had already entered them for. But of course, when this whole thing started, some of those championships were postponed indefinitely and some were cancelled. It's going to affect everybody. As we speak, the Badminton World Federation has suspended has frozen the world ranking in badminton. Because, if they kept running it, it meant it will affect some people adversely. It's your best tournament that is used for your ranking. So after a while, the older ones drop out of the ranking, ladder. And once that happens, you begin to lose points because you are not playing any additional championship. So the world body decided to freeze. And, with time, they've communicated that they will let us know what the criteria is going to be now that the Olympic has been postponed. And of course, when the pandemic, by God's grace, dies down, they'll let us know whether we are going to go back to status quo or we are going to start a new qualification, process. But everybody is just waiting. And we hope that whatever they come out with will be favorable to our players, because we are really putting a lot of effort to get our players to play at the Olympics.
Yeah, talking about waiting and waiting, the waiting games continue because we don't even know what's going to happen in the future. But then, badminton, you usually run some championships and leagues and all that. I mean, after the COVID-19, when it's over, what will your federation do? I mean, some of the plans you already have for the year, apart from the qualifiers and all that for the Olympics, which is no more this year, what are the things to actually do to keep players busy when the pandemic is over? And everyone is actually predicting May or June, we should be over this one.
Well, like I said, we had a calendar out already for activities for the year. So, like you rightly said, everybody hoped, predicting that by May, June, this whole thing should have died down. We intend to maintain that calendar for activities that have not yet been affected. Hopefully, we have some national championships that are meant to take place from the third quarter to the fourth in the year. So we are hoping those championships will still take place. And then for those that we're meant to have about this time, we'll be talking with the sponsors and looking at the possibility of rescheduling them for a later date. And if possible, talk to more people to see if we can also have some new programs and events come up, so that, like you rightly said, the most important thing is after all this, we need to get the players back, to the playing courts and get them busy again.
All right. Thank you so much, Francis Orbih, President, Nigeria Badminton Federation, for joining us to talk about your federation this morning and, of course, the postponement of the Olympics. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, that's said it all. A lot depending on this blowing over. Yeah, so until then, they can only stay proactive and, stay safe as well. Stay home and stay fit if you can. Apparently, that's very difficult to do. I don't know why is this so difficult to do.
Just create a timetable for yourself and you'll be able to do that. I love the fact that he said he's keeping tabs with his players, which is really a key one right here. We need to go on a break now. We'll come back. There's still so much more to talk on sports this morning.